In this episode of Wasted Time, we're going to be shooting some cars on medium format film. We're going to be using my Mamiya RB67 with a 90mm lens and some Kodak Portra 400. Now, starting off with this 1966 Ford Mustang, which was completely rebuilt by the owner and was actually based on the Shelby GT350H, which was a part of the Rent-A-Racer program. The premise of this car was Shelby needed to increase production of this vehicle, which wasn't cheap to do at the time, so they ended up reaching out to Hertz and created a rental car. Hence the H in the name and the black and gold paint job, which are the Hertz company colors. Something you can still do to this day, but obviously with a newer model Mustang. Now back to this Ferrari 308 GTSI from the opening shot of the video. The interior of this thing was beautiful, and my favorite detail was the Ferrari badged ashtray, because if you're gonna get yourself, do it in style. Right after photographing this 308 here, this guy who owned a Jaguar E-Type came up explaining that I shouldn't even care about this Ferrari as it was a Fiat under the hood. Now, I'm not really sure how accurate that is, but he was probably just upset that I was basically leaning on his car to get the opening shot of this video. Next up are my two personal favorites of the day, which are these two Porsche 911s. You can actually see me here metering for the highlights and the shadows, and I ended up just going with the middle ground of both of these readings. Once you're happy with the frame and you've nailed the focus, take the shot. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, and every time I look at this photo, I just think about what kind of coffee this guy drinks. Normally, I would have just framed this up again, but as I took this photo, this guy was getting ready to leave, so I ended up just going around and getting a shot from the back. This is a good time to mention that I actually ended up editing some people out of some of these shots. Patience at car meets is super important, and I understand that some people, especially some of the purists, may be against editing your film like this, but at the end of the day, it's my work and I want the main focus of the photo to be the car. Some of the top fashion photographers and other professionals shooting with film will use similar methods, so don't let other people tell you how you should present your work and the methods used to produce the final image. One of the rarer vehicles I saw this day was this Plymouth Superbird. And this is one of those cars that you just feel obligated to have to shoot. Some of the details on this thing were too good not to. This shot in particular reminds me of why I shoot medium format and why I carry around a camera that weighs as much as an RB does. Another odd vehicle of the day was this Fiat Abarth 1000 TC. It's just hard not to love looking at this thing. Back to some Porsches because I couldn't help myself. Sometimes when looking back through this POV footage, it makes you realize the shots you either missed or the ones you should have taken, and this is a good example of that. The light behind this RX-7 looks amazing, but I decided to opt out for the shot of this BMW instead, which, don't get me wrong, is still a nice photo, but in hindsight, I would have preferred the RX-7. red definitely seemed to be a theme, especially for some of the cars that I shot that day, including this 1994 Maserati Shamal, this 1930 Ford two-door, as well as this 2008 F430, which is easily one of my favorite cars as a kid growing up, and this Shelby Cobra. Some other interesting cars I photographed that day include this 1982 Lancia Monte Carlo, which you don't really see, especially in Australia. Turns out they only made 7,798 units of this vehicle from 1974 till 1982. As well as this 1972 Di Tommaso Pantera in this very interesting yellow color. And these two Caterhams, which ended up getting a cameo from a Subaru in the background, which kind of ruins the shot for me, in all honesty. But that's all from this episode of Wasted Time, and if you guys liked any of the images in this video, feel free to comment down below which one was your favorite. I'm going to be continuing to give away a print of your choice from this episode. All you have to do is comment within 2 weeks of the episode going live and you'll be in the running. I'll see you guys in the next video.